Yeah, hi. These comments are for AM, and I am Michael from OTC, OnlineToeflCourse.com, and happy New Year 2021, right? I am so happy to put the last year behind me. How about you? Okay, so you're doing integrated speaking practice, and I'm getting ready to listen to your speaking practice test. Okay, and anybody at YouTube, if you want to know how you can get feedback like this, go over to onlinetoeflcourse.com, scroll down the page a little bit, and join my TOEFL Speaking Bootcamp course. It isn't even very expensive, and you will get feedback on your speaking task that you send me. Okay, so let's listen to your practice test. Here
The
we go.
reading passage is about reactance, which is people's tendency to reestablish their freedom by opposing some rules. And in the lecture, the professor further illustrates this concept by providing two examples. In the first example, he explains that a child would be a reactant if he sneaked to the park that his parent previously not allowed him to go to. This kid, he says, wanted to show his freedom by breaking his parents' rules. In the second example, the professor describes how people can also be reactant if
Okay.
they go against a new law that banned them from buying one kind of soap. Those reactant people, he says, will buy all the soap in the stores before the law is getting activated because they want to restore their control over the situation. The reading
Okay, so my first impression is right around 3. I'm going to say 22 to 23 points out of 30 on the practice test. I think you have some problems with delivery, some minor problems with delivery, and maybe one or two problems with language use. All right, let's listen to it one more time.
passage is about reactance, which is
This. So, reactance.
people's tendency to reestablish their freedom by opposing some rules.
By opposing, not opposing. Opposing some rules. So be careful of your word stress. It can kind of change the whole word and we won't get your meaning there.
And in the lecture, the professor further illustrates this concept by providing two examples. In the first example, he explains that a
Okay.
child would be a reactant if he sneaked to the park that his parent previously not allowed him to go to.
I would say if the part that his parents previously did not allow him to go to. So with not, you need to have do placement. So did not allow him to go to.
This kid, he says, wanted to show his freedom by
Good voice marker. This kid, the speaker says.
breaking his parents' rules. In the second example,
Good. In the first example, in the second example. I like how you're kind of connecting those two parts of your response together by those phrases.
professor describes how people can also be reactant if they go against a new law that
Okay.
banned them from buying one kind of soap. Those reactant people, he says, will buy all the soap in the stores before the law is getting activated because they want to restore their control over the situation. The reading
Okay, so that's it. So I think my score is pretty accurate. I'm going to say 22 to 23 points on this. So sometimes you have word stress shifts, which kind of make it a little hard to understand what you're saying. In other cases, you have some problems with pacing. You might not be pausing exactly in the right place, or you might not be blending the words within certain thought groups. So those are some areas you can work on. Language use, the only major problem was you forgot to put the word did in this sentence. Other than that, it was pretty good. And I think overall your topic development was organized and developed. It was pretty easy to understand what you were saying. So you have to improve. I think the main thing here is your intelligibility. If you look at the rubrics, what we want to do here is we need to move you from the 4 area, the 3 area where it says generally intelligible, and we need to get to highly intelligible. Now, this is difficult. You might not be able to work on this all on your own here, and I'm going to offer some help. I do have TOEFL private lessons. They're not cheap. They're $50 an hour. However, I think I can make some progress with your intelligibility. It might take me about a month, maybe 1 or 2 lessons a week. We can work on specific areas in the pronunciation part of my course, and we can really work on that intelligibility. I want to help you go from being generally intelligible to being highly intelligible, right? And of course, the more intelligible you are, the more understandable you are, the easier it is for people to listen to you, and that's going to help you communicate more effectively. So think about it, right? If you're interested in the TOEFL private lessons, you can go over to my website at bettertoeflscores.com, and right at the top right, you'll see TOEFL private lessons, and you can check it out. All right. Meanwhile, just keep up the good work. I know you're very focused in your studies and you're really doing a great job in terms of improving your speaking. So, Happy New Year again, 2021, to you and your family.